Picture this: 1799, Madrid. Francisco Goya, Spain's most celebrated royal painter, the man who painted kings and queens, suddenly releases 80 innocent etchings to the public. Within days, he's frantically hiding from the Spanish Inquisition. Copies of his work are being seized. Whispers of heresy fill the streets. What could possibly be so dangerous about a few drawings? They weren't just art. They were the world's first viral memes. Savage, brilliant, and absolutely lethal. These weren't pretty pictures. They were weapons of mass trolling, designed to mock the church, the nobility, and Spain's most sacred superstitions. In an age where the wrong joke could get you burned alive, how do you satirize an entire system of power and somehow live to tell the tale? This is the story of history's most dangerous art collection. To understand why Goya's etchings were so explosive, you need to picture Spain in 1799. This wasn't just any country. This was a nation living in the shadow of the Inquisition's terror. Francisco Goya was 53, completely deaf from a mysterious illness, and growing increasingly bitter about the world around him. As the royal court painter, he had a front-row seat to Spain's corruption. He painted kings who were idiots, nobles who were parasites, and a church that kept the people in ignorant fear. But here's the problem. Criticizing any of this was literally a death sentence. The Spanish Inquisition didn't just burn books, they burned people. Heretics, blasphemers, anyone who dared question the established order. Their tools were censorship, public humiliation, and the auto da fe, those horrific public burnings that terrorized entire cities. So, when Goya decided to create Los Caprichos, he wasn't just making art. He was playing Russian roulette with the most dangerous institution in Europe. These weren't protests or manifestos. They were something far more subversive. Viral satire designed to make people laugh at the very system that controlled their lives. The question wasn't whether the Inquisition would notice. The question was whether Goya could survive what came next. What exactly made Los Caprichos so dangerous? Let me show you Goya's trolling toolkit. 4 masterpieces of subversive genius that would make modern meme creators jealous. This is Goya's most famous image, and it's basically the 18th century version of a viral tweet. A man sleeps at his desk while bats, owls, and demons swarm around him. When rational thought dies, monsters take over. Goya wasn't just talking about personal nightmares. He was attacking the church's deliberate campaign to keep people ignorant. Those monsters, they represent superstition, fear, and religious fanaticism. The church taught that questioning faith was evil. Goya said the opposite. Not questioning is what creates evil. Picture a young woman being pushed toward marriage with some disgusting old man. Her family smiles and nods. "Say yes, dear," while she looks terrified. This is pure feminist rage disguised as social commentary. Families were literally selling their daughters to the highest bidder, calling it honor and tradition. Goya showed it for what it really was: human trafficking with fancy clothes. Here's where Goya got savage. A donkey is literally teaching human students from a book. The students look bored and confused. The message? Your teachers, your nobles, your so-called betters are actual asses pretending to have wisdom. This became Goya's signature trolling move, using donkeys to represent the stupidity of power. He was saying, maybe the people being educated by these fools actually know more than their teachers. Revolutionary stuff in a world where questioning authority meant death. This one's particularly vicious. We see people being literally plucked like chickens, stripped bare, humiliated, destroyed. But who's doing the plucking? Social parasites who exploit human weakness. Goya was exposing how the system worked. Predators targeting the naive, the desperate, the gullible. Whether it's promising easy money, cheap pleasures, or false salvation, the result is always the same. The victims get plucked clean while the parasites grow fat. What made these images truly explosive wasn't just their humor, it was their accuracy. Everyone recognized the targets. Everyone knew these weren't fantasies but brutal portraits of real Spanish society. But how did he dodge the Inquisition? He had 3 secret shields. Goya's titles were deliberately vague. He added a disclaimer calling them fantasies and caprices of the imagination, pure genius. If questioned, he could claim it was all fictional. The Inquisition couldn't prove he was targeting specific people because he never explicitly named them. Ambiguity became his armor. Here's the masterstroke. Goya made Los Caprichos ridiculously expensive. Only 27 copies sold to Spain's wealthy liberals, the exact people who agreed with his message. No mass distribution meant no mass panic. The Inquisition feared popular uprisings, not private art collections. By keeping his satire exclusive, Goya turned potential revolution into elite entertainment. The rich could laugh at the system they were part of without threatening it. When the heat got too intense, Goya made a desperate move that saved his life. He gifted all the copper plates to King Charles IV himself. The message? "Look, Your Majesty, I'm so loyal I'm giving you my life's work." The king couldn't execute someone who just made him a generous gift. Goya transformed from dangerous rebel to grateful subject in one strategic move. The Inquisition seized the remaining copies, but Goya had vanished from their legal reach. He'd played the system perfectly. Mock the power, then bow to it just enough to survive. Los Caprichos didn't just survive, they changed the world. They inspired political cartoons, influenced Picasso, and basically invented visual satire as we know it. Why did they work? Because Goya understood timeless truths that still ring true today. Power corrupts. Ignorance breeds monsters. And sometimes, the only way to survive tyranny is to laugh at it. Goya's real genius wasn't just mocking the system, it was showing us that satire isn't just entertainment, it's survival. When you can't fight power directly, you laugh at it until it loses its grip on people's minds. The Inquisition is gone, but the need for Goyas isn't. Every generation needs someone brave enough to draw the monsters and smart enough to survive the backlash. So, here's my question for you. Who's the Goya of our time? Which artist today is brave enough to turn power into punchlines and somehow survive the backlash? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to know who you think is carrying that torch. If you're hungry for more stories about art, rebels who changed the world, smash that subscribe button. We're diving deep into the artists who risked everything to show us uncomfortable truths.